Hello everyone, I'm Cesar from Gopanggan or KPG Overseas, and I'm a student at Washington State University. And we're here with a very special guest today, Bjorn from Washington State University. Bjorn, can you please introduce yourself?
Thank you, Cesar and Korpangang. My name is Bjorn Myhre. I'm Assistant Director for International Recruitment at Washington State University. I've been at Washington State University for about 2.5 years. And I've worked in college admission for about 11 or 12 years now. And WSU is a great school, and I look forward to talking more about it.
Yeah, and like Bjorn said, we'll be talking all about WSU today. So first question, what are the 3 words that come to mind when you think of WSU?
Well, at Washington State University, I like to think about friendly. It's a very friendly university. People are very supportive during the admission process. They're very friendly when you arrive on campus, and your academic advisors and professors are supportive during your time as a university student. So it's a very friendly place. It's also very safe and comfortable. So we have 5 campuses in the state, but our largest and oldest campus is in Pullman, Washington. And that's where most of our international students study. But the Pullman campus is a small town with a big university in it. And so you have lots of university students in a very small town that feels very comfortable. It's easy to walk around. The local people that live in Pullman don't lock their doors because there's no crime. And so I would say safe. And then I would say the third thing is, academic excellence. We have a lot of great programs that are ranked very high. We have students that go on to do great things after WSU with starting companies, going on to graduate school and getting a master's or a doctorate degree. And we have new academic programs coming on recently. We just have graduated our 2nd class of medical students. So WSU created a medical school a few years ago, and we just graduated our 1st or 2nd class of medical graduates. So that's great. But yeah, so academic excellence, safe. It's a very safe and comfortable environment, and then friendly.
For sure. Yeah, I can agree with that for sure. That Pullman is such a friendly town, and it's a college campus experience for sure. And can you tell us more about the campus culture at WSU?
Yeah, so Washington State University has a very involved and engaged student life. So students get involved, as soon as they arrive on campus. If they come in the fall at Pullman campus, there's a week of welcome. And there's usually all kinds of great activities to bring students together so they can make friends, get connected with social groups. But students get together and, play intramural sports. I think there's over 9,000 students that participate in intramural sports, where you just play friendly competitions and games, whether it's volleyball, basketball, ping pong, electronic sports or esports. It's really fun. And I believe I think there's nearly 400 student clubs and organizations. So students come together, whether they're academic focused or business clubs, cultural or religious clubs, maybe they're just fun clubs that students want to join because they have an interest in playing board games, or they have an interest in horseback riding. So there's something for everybody at WSU. And also, even though it's a small town, the student leadership at WSU does a great job of bringing in student entertainment every year. And so they bring in, musicians or rock concerts and comedians and other entertainers, so that students don't have to feel like they have to go to a big city, Seattle or Portland or something like that, to see a concert and see some, quote, big city entertainment. So we have tons of entertainment happening on campus. Clubs are doing fun things all the time. And then it's also fun to go to an American football game on a Saturday afternoon in the fall and cheer on your football team with over 40,000 fans in the stadium. Even if you don't understand the rules of American football, it's a fun thing to go to and experience. And it's a truly American thing to do and experience in college sports.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. And what are some of the popular or unique majors at WSU?
Well, I think some of the fun ones are like food science. So food science is all about processing food from agricultural products into the food we buy in the grocery store, making your cornflakes stay crunchy when you put milk on them at breakfast time, or fermenting cheese and other vegetables into, you know, delicious products. So food science is very interesting and delicious. It's kind of, you know, interesting to taste some of the things that they create and experiment on. And then, you know, some of the other programs are, you know, biology. I think there's like 6 or 8 different biology related majors at WSU. So we're very strong in the agricultural and biological sciences. And some of our biology scientists study grizzly bears. So WSU has about 10 or 12 grizzly bears at a grizzly bear research center on campus. And they research bears as one of the largest land mammals on the planet. And humans and grizzly bears have a lot in common. So that's kind of interesting to hear about that grizzly bear research happening at WSU. And, you know, anybody can go visit them and see them in their captive environments. Some other fun majors at WSU. I always tell students, this is not for me because I'm not a math and data person, but data analytics is a very popular major because it's a very hot and in-demand job in the industry of information technology, or all these tech companies in Seattle really want people that understand data and data analytics and stuff like that. So, but most of our international students do study business and engineering and economics and hospitality, computer science, those kinds of majors. But WSU has about 200 fields of study. And I kind of say there's something for everybody, but of course we don't have every major that's out there. But we do have a lot, and it's also nice that students can explore different majors, especially if they come to WSU as a first-year student. They have time in their first 2 years to take different classes and explore different academic interests that really speak to their interest and their passion. And then hopefully they'll figure it out. And then their last 2 years, they'll focus on that academic program and graduate, so.
For sure, yeah. There's a ton of majors for students to choose from. And I've always heard about those bears, but I've never actually seen one.
You got to visit them. And that's not the coolest thing about WSU, but I really like the grizzly bears. So that's a fun thing. And undergraduates and graduate students do the research all over campus in different interesting topics. So we are a research university. That is a distinctive feature about WSU for all of our academic majors. Research is a aspect of the student experience that you should expect at WSU. But that's great because it makes you get deep into your studies. It helps you have something to talk about when you go for a job interview, when you graduate and are trying to get that first internship. And, you know, WSU wants to support students' undergraduate research for their careers and their life after the university, so.
Can you tell us more about the support services that you have available for international students?
Yeah, that's a great question. So students get support from a variety of different resources on campus. I always tell students they have 2 advisors at WSU. One advisor is your academic advisor that works with students in your major. So if you're a, let's say, international business major, you'll have a major from the Carson College of Business. And that academic advisor works with American and international students the same, because it helps you with class registration, planning your classes out to graduate. The academic advisor tells you about job fairs that are happening on campus. They tell you about possible internships, study abroad opportunities, everything related to your academic major, right? And then your international student advisor helps students with immigration issues or getting on-campus employment as an international student. That's possible and a good idea. Students can also apply for off-campus employment after graduation under a program called Optional Practical Training, or OPT. And so our international student advisors help students understand that process of how to apply for employment, either on campus or off campus. They help them with the paperwork. They help them get directed on other resources like that type of a thing. Also, the student services help students get connected with academic support. So there's tutoring in almost all the subjects that students take at WSU. So if you're struggling in a class and you let your advisor know, or just, you should find this out at orientation actually, but at orientation they tell students about the academic support for the student career and academic career support center, where they help you with tutoring, they help you with writing a resume, writing a cover letter when you apply for a job. They help you, what websites to look for getting a job. whether it's a part-time job on campus or a full-time job when you graduate. So, also, we don't have usually a university-wide job fair for graduates. Each academic department or college at WSU usually has their own job fair and career services. We have a general university career services department, but students in this College of Business or the School of Education or the College of Engineering, they're working with their advisors and professors in a little bit different way for future engineering jobs or future education jobs or future, business jobs. So the university has about 9 different colleges or schools within it. And they do obviously work together, but students kind of look inward for their support. So we have support services for students across campus, and then some are more specific for their academic major. But there's a wide range of student services that WSU offers.
Thanks. And so if a student is interested in going to WSU, how much does it cost to attend?
Good question. So I always first like to say that WSU is an affordable university. And so when you look at all the different 4-year colleges in America and the 4-year colleges in the West Coast of the United States, we're one of the more affordable options. But the tuition is about $27,000 a year for tuition and fees. And then if you factor in living on campus with housing and food, and then student health insurance and books and all those other fees, the total cost of attendance is estimated to be about $45,000 for 1 year. $45,000 for 1 year will cover all your expenses living on campus, and you'll just be fine. Now, we do give automatic merit scholarships. You might ask a question about that later, but that can help you with a discount on saving your tuition dollars. And then if you live off campus, you can also save money because off-campus housing in Pullman is quite affordable. And that's a nice option as well. And I might add, that's the same cost for all academic majors at WSU. Sometimes they get asked by students, what's the cost for psychology versus business? Well, it's the same. Whether you study business, psychology, engineering, or history, all of the academic majors are the same because the classes are the same for the credits and so forth.
Yes. And you're right. I'm about to ask about scholarships. Yeah, could you tell us more about the scholarships that are available for international students?
I would love to. I love helping students get discounts and saving money for their university expenses. So when international students apply for admission at WSU, they will automatically be considered for a merit scholarship. And if they have a GPA of a 3.3 or higher as a new incoming student, they could get an automatic merit scholarship up to $4,000 a year. So if you have a 3.3 to 3.59 GPA, you get a $2,000 scholarship. If it's a 3.6 GPA or higher, then you would get a $4,000 a year scholarship. And those scholarships are renewable. So a student that enters as a first year or freshman can get it for all 4 years. Transfer students are eligible for the same scholarships as well. So first year or transfer students can get $2,000 or $4,000 automatically when they apply for admission. And the university does have additional scholarships that international students can apply for, but those are competitive and those are not guaranteed. So you're competing with, literally hundreds or thousands of other WSU students when you apply for those general WSU scholarships from our financial aid office. And, you might get a $500 scholarship or a $2,000 scholarship or a $50 scholarship, but it doesn't hurt to apply for those general scholarships at WSU. And you can do that every year, fill out the general scholarship application. But those automatic guaranteed ones are just based on your grades when you apply for admission.
Awesome. And you mentioned about housing, on-campus housing. Could you tell us more about the housing options that are available for students?
Yes, so WSU has lots of on-campus housing. We're very much a residential campus. We're not a commuter school, so people come to WSU and it's a destination. They stay there, whether they're living on campus or off campus. They're not going to their parents' home on weekends like the local American students. But we have about 20 different residence halls or dormitories on campus. The university has about 4 or 5 different apartment complexes on campus, and they're all different shapes and sizes. Some residence halls are like 15 or 20 stories or floors tall, and they look like a big hotel, and they probably hold thousands of students in them. And other residence halls are maybe 2 or 3 stories or floors tall, and they look very different. It looks like a big house, right? And some residence halls are co-ed, meaning men and women can live in there, the student body. Some residence halls are one gender, so only females could live in the building or something. So, so there's lots of different options, and maybe you want to live near some gyms or workout centers. Well, we have lots of residence halls near athletic facilities. Maybe you want to live close to the library because you love to study late night. Great, you can live near the library. There's lots of options. So, and since you're asking about housing, I should add that if you come as a first-year student to WSU, you do need to live on campus in on-campus student housing. But if you come as a transfer student or some other new student type, then you don't need to live on campus. You're welcome to, though. So we'll always guarantee new international students on-campus housing if they need it and want it. But we are flexible with different options. And I also, one thing about housing, you should visit our housing website, housing.wsu, and you can take a virtual tour of any of the housing options, the residence halls. And that's a very good thing to do.
Sure, yeah, there's a lot of options for sure. I think coming from a smaller community college, I was surprised to see the variety of options that are available at WSU. Okay, so the second to last question, if the audience said they're interested and they want to apply, how can they apply?
Well, there's a couple of different ways you can apply. The first thing is to talk to Cesar or Kangpong, and they can help you apply. The second thing is you could talk to me and I could help you apply. But really the simplest way is to go to our WSU website and fill out the online application. And the online application is the same website or application portal that all of our undergraduate students would complete. You would fill it out. You can upload a copy of your transcript, a copy of your passport, a copy of your English proficiency to your application, or you can email those documents to our admission office at international@wsu.edu. But I would say upload those documents to your online application. And then generally it takes about 2 to 3 weeks to hear back from WSU with an admission decision. Sometimes it might take longer than 2 or 3 weeks if it's a very busy time of the year when we have lots of applications to review and process. And then other times it might take like a week if we're not very busy and there's not a lot of applications that time. But we also don't have an application deadline. We have rolling admission at WSU. So applications always roll in, and then we roll out admission decisions on a timely basis as soon as they're available to students. And so after they get admitted, we will send their acceptance letter via email. We can send a printed hard copy as well. And then when the student shows that they have what's called proof of finances, or that they can demonstrate that they can afford 1 year of attendance at WSU, then we'll send their I-20. And the I-20 is a US immigration document that the university gives an international student coming on an F1 visa. And then that student takes their I-20 from WSU to the US consulate or embassy and does their student visa interview. They get their student visa approved, goes in their passport, then they can buy a plane ticket and come to the USA. I know you're asking about admission, but I like to talk about the whole process or cycle because I don't like people just to apply. I like them to arrive on campus. And it's good to go through the whole admission process with the intention of coming to the college, because don't fill out half of the application, fill out the whole thing and be serious about it, I would say. Yeah. But it's not an application. And also we don't have an essay, so they don't have to write an admission essay. And we do not require letters of recommendation. And also we don't require that SAT test or ACT test. So neither our international nor the American students have to take the SAT test. So if the international student did take the SAT, that's fine. They can use the reading test as an English proficiency score. But if they did not take the SAT, it's totally fine.
Is it the same way for graduate programs?
Yes, for graduate programs, they would apply for admission to WSU through our online application, but it depends which graduate program they're applying for. I usually tell students, if you're looking for a master's or a PhD, look at that specific department's admission requirements and deadlines and TOEFL scores and things like that, because each graduate program can have different admission requirements. Where undergraduate admission, it's all the same admission requirements for all of the majors.
And what advice would you give to prospective students who are future cooks, you would say?
I would say ask questions and come to a presentation, Zoom with me, listen to current students, ask questions of alumni or current students at that university. Ask me hard questions of what's the best thing about the university, what's the worst thing, when can I tell me why should I go to your school over another school? So my advice for prospective students is to ask good questions and then do a fair apples to apples comparison. If they're comparing Washington State University with other public universities in California or in Oregon or Arizona, look at the cost, look at the scholarships, look at the cost of living, and look at all those variables to see if it's a good fit for you. Because at the end of the day, when I talk to prospective or future students, I want to make sure that the university that they're going to apply to and study at is a good fit. And if it's not a good fit, then I'll tell them to look at a different option and find a good fit that will make them happy and that will meet their education needs. Because like I said, we don't have every academic major or program. And so I want to be very honest with students. If I don't have your major, I'll help you go somewhere else. But if we have your program and you like the university, we'll do our best to help you understand it. And so my advice for students is to ask questions, and it might not always be with me. It might be with other people that I can connect you with. And so there's lots of people at WSU that want to help. And that's my advice, is to be curious and ask questions, because a college experience is the best investment somebody can make in their life. And it's one of the biggest decisions that students or parents will make about where you study and what you study and how you go through that part of your important life.
For sure. Well, lastly, is there anything else you would like to share about WSU that maybe you haven't mentioned or had a chance?
I do. So my favorite thing about Washington State University is that they make ice cream and cheese on campus every day. And so we do have a great agricultural program at WSU. We have dairy cattle on campus, and the students take that milk from these cows and turn it into really delicious ice cream and cheese. It's a science laboratory, but it's really delicious outcome or conclusion from that science. And so if you like cheese, if you like 2 homemade cookies with some ice cream in the middle, like an ice cream sandwich, it's really delicious. So when you visit WSU Pullman, you can go get a free ice cream cone, and that's a really fun fact. Not every university makes their own cheese and ice cream. So I personally love cheese and ice cream, so that's a fun fact for me. Yeah. But there's so many other fun facts too. Our nickname or mascot is the Cougars. And so you might hear people say Go Cougs for short. So people don't always say the whole word, Go Cougars. They might say Go Cougs. And there's lots of school spirit at WSU. And so besides the ice cream, when you come to WSU Pullman, you'll see lots of people are wearing red and gray or crimson and gray, our school colors. And when you see another WSU student, they say Go Cougs, and then you say Go Cougs back to them. And then people get really excited about the university and that school spirit, because they take a lot of pride in where they go. And that's great. So students have a lot of school spirit at WSU. And I hope that future prospective students can see that and come get a glimpse of that and learn more about that school spirit and great academic programs in a supportive environment.
Awesome. Yes. And I love those ice cream and cheese. They're one of the few things that you must do when you go to Pullman, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much for coming today and sharing all these helpful things about WSU. Okay.
You're welcome. My pleasure. I really hope that more Thai students and students from Southeast Asia apply and are interested in WSU, and it really is a good fit for a lot of students, whether they want to do computer science, hospitality, business majors, engineering. We have a lot of great programs for students. So please inquire, please ask questions, please come to a future Zoom session, and we'd be happy to meet with you.
หากเห็นว่าเนื้อหาที่เรานำเสนอมีประโยชน์และคุณชอบมันอย่าลืมกดไลค์ให้เราด้วยนะครับและที่สำคัญนะครับหากใครติดตามและต้องการรับข้อมูลเกี่ยวกับการศึกษาต่อต่างประเทศการพัฒนาทักษะภาษาในต่างประเทศอย่าลืมกด Subscribe และกดแจ้งเตือนเวลาเรามีคลิปใหม่ลงใน YouTube Channel ของเรานะครับขอบคุณครับ